The basketball playoffs are a thrilling time of year for schools across our state.
At Orient-Macksburg, last week's game took on a much deeper meaning. KCCI Sports Director Scott Reister joins us in studio with a story you'll only see right here on KCCI. Scotty?
Yeah, after over a century of tradition, Orient-Macksburg is bracing for a major change. Photojournalist Josh Pan and I went there to capture a day that will live forever in the hearts and minds of the people of this small, proud Southwest Iowa community. If the walls of this Orient-Macksburg building could talk.
In 1949-1950, they played for the county cup.
It would have a century of stories to tell.
The first round we played Ventura, Lynn Lorenzen.
Yeah.
Beat them.
From the old gym where kids knew not to dive for loose balls.
And then they'd sit up there.
To the new gym that's been in use since the 60s. For 105 years, neighbors have gathered here to make memories.
Athletic events were the main event. Grandparents that went to school here and uncles and aunts. And I think there's kind of a sense of family and community.
Halftime is whenever we are able to do our pie auctions or recognize people from the archery team and stuff like that. And people like to cheer.
It definitely gets noisy. Very good environment to play in.
It's been a way of life.
Trophy from 1922.
Stacy Cass attended Orient-Macksburg, works there, and her kids go there.
When you hold something like that,
a lot of good families, came from here, and it's just awful. I don't know what else to say about it. It just sucks.
With only 100 kids in grades K through 12, enrollment has declined to the point where the school can no longer remain open. Orient-Macksburg School, the heart of the town, opened in 1921. Despite the best efforts of many, it will close in 2025.
It's just, yeah. And it's, yeah. Yeah.
And I won't get to come back and see them play in an Orient uniform ever again.
These students will split up and enroll in neighboring school districts such as Nottoway Valley, East Union, and Winterset.
Not gonna be with my friends next year and not gonna graduate and walk across the stage with them.
But they did have one.
If you're not a little bit nervous, then you're not ready to play.
Final.
1, 2, 3, 4!
Night.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
With no boys team this year, these 9 girls took the court Thursday as the last team to ever do so at Orient-Macksburg.
Have fun, play hard, don't swear into the microphone.
Even if they beat Madrid in the playoff opener, their next game would be on the road. So either way, this gathering marked the end of an era.
It's just good to see the community all come together. I just have so many wonderful memories.
It's awful to lose a school.
How do you feel about this being the final night?
I don't want it to happen.
The team, led by star junior Emma Boswell, built a lead. With seconds left in the game, and quite possibly the existence of the team, the score was tied at 38.
It's Ella or Emma for the win. Hey, there's no shot clock here, girls.
Orient-Macksburg had the ball, and if these walls could talk, they'd have one last whopper of a story to tell. It's not the ending anyone could have ever even dreamed. Madrid 41, Orient-Macksburg 38. As Madrid celebrated Samantha Springer's miracle game winner,
wow,
heartbreak and reality set in. It wasn't just the season that came to a sudden halt.
I kind of just dropped to my knees and cried there for a second and just waited on my teammates to just come and hug me. It was super sad.
They're not just my teammates, they're my family.
These girls mean everything to me.
The players left their shoes at half court. They left their handprints on the banner. And with the best record the school's had in the last 15 years, they left their mark on the school's history, showing class and resilience in the face of a painful end to an inescapable situation.
This whole thing is just bigger than sports and whatnot. It's a community.
Sadly, we're probably not going to be the last town that it happens in the state of Iowa. There are some real benefits to small schools, but yeah, I think the word is inevitable.
The future of the building is still up in the air. Residents are hopeful it could eventually be used as a community center. Alumni Ryan Frederick summed it up with this on social media, saying, "It's not the last that matter. It's what happened between the first and the last. By that measure, my fellow Bulldogs, we have not lost but one."